The era of guessing what users want based on gut feeling and basic web traffic is over. Building digital products today requires empirical optimization, weighting design decisions against concrete behavioral data. Historically, companies relied on page views to measure engagement. But as applications evolved into complex, single-page architectures where users interact without ever reloading the browser, tracking a simple page view lost its analytical value. The new standard of measurement is the event. We're moving past a simple increment encounter. On the right is a mathematically defined event payload. It captures a discrete interaction, like a checkout, pairing it with highly structured metadata to give that action context. Capturing this granular telemetry is what allows product teams to track the most critical metric for long-term viability, the 7% retention rule. This chart tracks a new cohort over its first week. Notice the steep drop-off. Compelling just 7% of users to return on day 7 crosses the threshold line, placing the product in the top 25% of market performers. That specific week 1 activation metric strictly correlates with 3-month retention. The decisions users make about a product's utility in their first 7 days establish the foundation for long-term revenue compounding. Reaching that 7% benchmark consistently is a major engineering hurdle when data is trapped in disjointed silos. It requires a centralized behavioral data infrastructure to identify exactly where users lose interest. Collecting billions of telemetry events is useless if the underlying system cannot process, validate, and analyze those interactions accurately. The first architectural challenge in building this stack happens before a single line of code is written. It requires designing a scalable data taxonomy, a definitive tracking plan that dictates exactly what telemetry will be captured. This taxonomy strictly separates data types. First are user properties, which maintain state over time. A user's Pro subscription tier rarely changes. As they trigger distinct action nodes, that Pro status automatically stamps onto every new event, eliminating the need to continuously resend that data. Opposing this are event properties, providing localized context for a precise action. Zooming in on an action node, transient properties like referring URL or load latency flash and disappear. They add vital meaning to that click, but never define the permanent user state. Mixing these two concepts is a fatal architectural error. If developers apply highly transient variables as user properties, the system will constantly overwrite the user's persistent state with temporary noise. Delineating between what permanently defines the user and what temporarily describes their action is the absolute bedrock of historical data accuracy. Once the taxonomy is defined, it has to be instrumented. Historically, client-side event logging relied on untyped, string-based function calls, leaving the tracking pipeline highly vulnerable to human error. A simple typo, a missing required property, or a mismatched data type in one of those loose strings will rapidly bypass basic checks and pollute the downstream analytics database. In Python, planned events become native methods. Developers simply call the generated songPlayed method. Being strongly typed, it requires precise inputs. If an incorrectly formatted payload is submitted, a compiler error instantly blocks execution before the network request. By structurally trapping illegal payloads at the compiler level, organizations shift their entire data governance model from reactive cleanup to proactive prevention. Despite meticulous planning and strict SDKs, rogue code deployments and unexpected telemetry still push into production environments. The database itself requires hard defenses. Looking closely at this JSON payload block, the ingestion engine enforces strict anatomical constraints for rapid querying. Identifiers must be at least 5 characters, string values cannot exceed 1024 characters, and nested JSON objects are capped at 40 layers deep. The time parameter is particularly rigid. It must be formatted strictly in milliseconds since the Unix epoch. Submitting a standard ISO 8601 date string will result in a fatal bad request error. When unauthorized payloads bypass the SDK, administrators rely on schema validation settings. The system executes one of 2 protocols. The server can strictly reject the payload, dropping it into the trash bin, or force the data into a quarantined holding area until manually approved by the governance team. These rigorous schema controls are the final line of defense, protecting the core analytics database from devolving into an unmanageable data swamp. Once the data is securely captured, enterprise architecture faces another bottleneck. Historically, organizations relied on high-latency extract, transform, and load pipelines to constantly duplicate behavioral data into central cloud data warehouses. The modern solution to this computational friction is the warehouse-native architecture. This marks a structural transition towards zero-copy data processing. Instead of piping data out, this architectural map shows the analytics platform deploying directly as an application layer. It queries the data natively within the client's local computational cluster, like Snowflake, meaning the underlying event data never physically exits the customer's secure perimeter. This zero-copy architecture yields absolute data governance and eliminates third-party vendor risk. Crucially, it establishes a single source of truth, removing the endless discrepancies between product analytics dashboards and downstream financial reporting. Storing data locally is only half the equation. Organizations must operationalize insights through closed-loop integrations like Braze. Analysts isolate a specific behavioral cohort, pushing them via REST API to Braze for personalized campaigns. Simultaneously, a return loop funnels engagement telemetry back into the central warehouse. Success depends on creating automated, zero-latency loops that drive immediate marketing interventions based on precise user actions. Operating this high-velocity telemetry engine at a global enterprise scale introduces massive regulatory complexities. Mishandling this data directly violates global privacy frameworks like the GDPR and the CCPA. To mitigate this, modern platforms utilize localized data residency. By hosting distinct data centers entirely within the European Union, organizations bypass the severe legal risks inherent in transatlantic data transfers utilized by legacy web analytics tools. But the most operationally complex requirement is honoring end-user data subject access requests, or DSAR. Retrieving a complete behavioral history for a single user across billions of events is computationally immense. This circular looping mechanism represents the programmatic solution, the DSAR API. To protect the database from compute exhaustion, the API enforces a strict polling methodology tied to an hourly budget of 14,400 cost points. An initialization post request deducts 8 points. Periodic polling GET requests cost 1 point each, and the process concludes by outputting the extracted data to a secure S3 download URL. This highly explicit, meticulously governed architecture stands in stark contrast to competing market philosophies, specifically platforms that rely on native auto-capture to indiscriminately scrape every document object model interaction. While auto-capture offers extremely rapid time to first insight for early-stage startups, it bypasses strict taxonomy planning. This rapidly generates chaotic, semantically meaningless datasets that mature, data-driven enterprises are eventually forced to abandon. Ultimately, a product analytics platform is only as effective as the engineering discipline applied to its implementation. By combining strictly typed SDKs, a zero-copy architecture, and programmatic privacy controls, organizations successfully transform raw telemetry into the central nervous system of a compounding commercial enterprise.